you for
Morning.
joining us today, and everyone out in internet land, social media land, and whatnot. I just popped us up live. I'm here with Don Stevens from DonStephensArt. It's a beautiful morning. Don, you got your coffee?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for it to still keep on doing what it's doing in the coffee maker.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so I just popped this up. We are definitely live. And I'm going to get to the business of just saying hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And if you love us, show your love by sharing this video out to people you love, because it's all about caring is sharing. This
I
is
say get
Let's,
it out to everybody that has an ear and some eyeballs.
there you
To be
go.
selective. Whether you love them or not, tell them.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I
Hi,
am
everybody.
hi.
Hi, Don.
Hi.
Nadine. Hi, everybody. It's Sue Ann.
Suan. Yeah, your name comes up as Jewel. I was like, should I say Jewel? Should I say Suan? But Suan, thank you for joining us. We do appreciate you joining us in the Zoom. Anyone else out there that would want to join us in the Zoom, hit me up in Messenger and I'll send you the link. We try to keep it a safe environment so we don't have people popping up we don't know. Um, but we appreciate you and your support. So
Well, thank you for everybody and everything. I haven't been here for a while because I've been busy doing a whole lot of other things. So actually, it's just great being here.
mhm. It's great having you here. Let's see. I am going to share this in our group. For anyone that may not know, we aren't able to go live in the group anymore. So we have to compensate for that. We are live. And also, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your paper, grab whatever implements you have, and to make lines, mark, edges, all that kind of stuff. Sharpie marker,
Line, shape,
shape,
form,
form.
light, and surface.
Yes. So
Ready?
grab, yes. Join us. All right. And yes. So I'm popping this up right now. Make sure people aren't missing out on this opportunity to create. So last week, if you missed it, we did this wonderful scene right here. We made it out of nothing, just our thought. And inspired by the commercials with the Corona beer that you would.
No, that was just part of the conversation. It was the whole thing was based upon something from nothing, celebrating Juneteenth and Father's Day.
There you go. There you go. And so yes, Sharpie marker.
Oh, no, everybody else did theirs in Sharpie. And if you're looking at my screen now or looking at what I have on the board, which is still there, I did everything on the Sharpie board for you guys, the Expo marker board for you guys to get the same feeling of me doing it in marker.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
then when I did it in the Sharpie marker one, as you can see, I did that for another class that I go live with, and we're able to do the same type of rendition with watercolor in your marker. So
Mm-hmm.
either which way you want to go with it, everybody, the rendition of the expo markers is closely representing what you would be doing on a white piece of paper.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so there you have it. I am checking our Patreon for now. We are going to be making some changes in Patreon, so stay tuned. You will find out more. It's nice changes happening. I'm getting them all organized and everything and about to post. So I will let you know when it is up and ready. We're also on Nas.io. That's another platform if it's easier for you to maneuver. We're just trying to make it easy for everyone.
I don't think that's an easy one. I don't think a lot of people know of that one, Nadine.
I've never
Well,
heard that.
yeah, I'm putting it out there because it's great. It's a great platform that you can use to bring people in and to do spontaneous classes.
I thought that's where you went to Rumble for.
Um, I'm talking premium. Rumble, if are for those people who have decided they do not want to be on Facebook. I made sure that we were in other locations. And Rumble is one of those locations where there's a growing community of artists, creatives there. Okay, so we're looking good. We're looking good on YouTube, Patreon, Nas.io, Rumble. We're live on Rumble. And check on Twitch. But we are doing great. All right. Checking on Twitch. We're good on Twitch. Awesome. And got one person watching. That's a beautiful thing. Hello over in Twitch land. If you're watching us for the first time, be sure to follow us and stay tuned for every time we go live. Say hi in the chat, whatever platform you're on, Rumble, Patreon, Nas.io, on Facebook, Twitch. We want to hear from you. So, done. Let's see here. Let me check. Yes, your board is looking good. We're good to go. Okay. There you are. Signal's pretty good. We're doing okay. Thank you, everyone. So how's everybody doing? I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to happen. 4th of July is coming up. For sure. You have any plans 4th of July, Sue Ann?
So me, myself, and I am patiently waiting for a friend of mine who lives in Wyncote, and perhaps we will get together there, and perhaps I will actually get to meet the grandchildren who are very old right now. They're teenagers. I've never met them because you know how it is with grandchildren and people's families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we're also planning to go to a museum for free at some point. And yeah, and then in August, my baby sister, my youngest sister, will be in America. She was in Portugal, so I'm really looking forward to that. And
Oh,
maybe
nice.
next year, if all goes well, I will go to Portugal. That'd be awesome, right? So yeah,
Yes.
that's my major last bucket list thing because you know I'm not as young as I think I am. Actually, I'm younger than I think I am.
Yeah, there you go. And do you know how exciting that would be? The images that you could create from your experiences in Portugal? Because, a lot of the buildings are very colorful.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
My I can go there. I can stay with her. She's
Mhm.
learning to speak Portuguese. I can't wait.
That sounds like fun. I was there 2 days in Portugal. It was a nice experience. The food is pretty good. Um, but I have some friends that are planning to become expats and live in Portugal, going to
That's what my
retire.
baby sister did.
Nice.
And here's the thing. When you look through the eyes of an artist, which anybody can do, obviously, and you can see background, middle ground, foreground. You notice so much stuff. I learned this. I learned this because I learned this. I know what it looks like a lot. My sister takes me on, shows me pictures of, she walks around with her dog a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I basically know the terrain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she lives in the southwest corner of Portugal. And
Mhm.
Portugal is like the most underplayed country in Europe.
Yes.
It's like, it's nice that way. Not a
Mhm.
lot of tourists.
Mhm.
Let's not make this big and popular and touristy spot. No, no.
Unless you're in Lisbon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the quaintness of it is what makes it so special.
Yeah.
You know, and I haven't been to Europe since 1980 because I
Mhm.
don't really like to fly much, but you only live once.
Yes. Yes. And that's going to be a nice trip for you. That's a nice gift, to be able to do that, to travel and spend time in a way that you don't have to rush, you know. That's the beauty.
You
Yeah.
don't need to wear your Apple Watch.
Yep. You don't need to wear your Apple Watch for sure. Yes, definitely. So I've been watching your artist journey, and it's been so inspiring. And I
Hey,
love that you.
what's going on, everybody? Let's go.
Oh, you ready?
No, you've been ready. You guys went off on a tangent there.
You got your
You talked
coffee?
about Portuguese, you talked about how beautiful it was there. Didn't talk about why it's so beautiful there and why it's so much on the low key, but I'll leave that alone. You know what I mean? Because the Portuguese and the Spaniards were right in the same boat. And we'll say that. And let's
Mhm.
have beautiful times on the south of France. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Yeah. All right. And so, with that being said to you guys, since you talked about celebrations and things like this, then this means that you could, how would you say, partake in this idea of pulling something from nothing from your conversation. So, since we talk about Portugal, where is Portugal at? What type of scene will we have there? Is it urban? Is it seascape? Sea-bearing nation? You
It's
know what I
both.
mean?
There's a little bit of both. They have a lot of quaint little towns. Definitely the seascape. Definitely you'll find if you're along the coast. There's a lot of that. It's actually really,
Like
really
a
nice.
Island, like Staten Island, like a
Big
Delaware
rugged terrain.
Harbor. Yeah. I just want to show you some of the similarities. That's all.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about estuaries and waterways. Don't want everybody to think that you have to travel to see these type of stuff.
You do not,
Yeah, and then plus you can go on Google Earth and plug it in and get all the scenes from that area. They'll tell you a lot more stuff than what you think.
for sure, for sure.
But that still does not help us with everybody going on selective silent mode. Yeah, we
Huh?
said seascape, but what type of seascape if we're talking about that terrain or that terrestrial area or that expanse of area? What are we going to pluck out of our memories? Because
Oh.
even though I haven't been there, I got a lot of good memories because I hung out with a lot of Spaniards from out here. That's Puerto Riqueña and Dominica,
Mm-hmm.
the nations that they conquered. So,
Mm-hmm.
I know those type of individuals from there. And then while in college and while teaching at elder centers, I got to meet true Portuguese and true Spaniards from the
Mm-hmm.
Isle of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So, depends upon which way you're going with it. If you're going down to Brazil, or we're going over there over the Mediterranean,
Mm.
you see, or we're going to areas that's in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where they conquered too. Now you gotta go where they
Yeah,
conquered
they
to
did.
understand that idea. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
which way we going? We're going with the Sicilian out that way, Portugal, mafioso, south of France idea, or we going with like how we just had, I just was talking about a scene like we did last week, but we're going to
Mm-hmm.
infuse some type of human interaction this time.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely since we were talking about Portugal, so we're talking Spain, south of France, right?
Yeah. That's all I asked. You already said seascape. So then what type of seascape? Are we just looking at the beach like how we was in our celebration of our first video? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we stepping it up to really pull out what's in the south of France? Since you
You know,
guys are saying that you guys was there, that would be a perfect opportunity to flex your memory glands and those cells and those 70 trillion cells that you both have and get them to all triangulate and say, what should be in this scene? Like I may
mm,
dictate the point of view. Is
mm-hmm.
the ocean going to be in there? Tell me that first. Is the ocean going to be in our scene?
Yes.
All right, so then I'm gonna use my blue marker, and this is how you start it off, everybody. Remember, my blue marker represents your pencil being light, or if you're bold and you're going with the Sharpie, you just dig in. But for those that have gotten emails from by they're saying that they have a confidence issue, uh, they can't handle the freehand motion, and people sent me a couple of pictures that they asked me not to show Nadine, and they was using rulers. I said, "Well, who told you to use a ruler? We suggested using just your hand." And I don't know,
Right.
Nadine. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny, in the long run, because that means that I got to step up the idea of what I mean by line, shape, form, light, and surface. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because it's really my stance. Now this is outside of our union, our
Mhm.
creative union. This is just my stance in general, that you all are artists, right? And you all
Yes.
lead your life based upon those five elements that I talk about all the time. It's
Mm-hmm.
shape, form, which is space. Shape is shape, line is edge. We can say lines are edges. You see, I hate when that happens with these markers. Happens all the time. I pick one up and it stops wanting to write.
Oh, it's got a mind of its own.
Well, no, it's just that I put the caps on poorly then when I put them back in the
Oh,
back.
okay.
See, I look at it as what it is rather than my emotional stance in it. Because my emotional stance will be, yeah, it's doing what it wants to do. Light and surface, you guys.
Yeah. Um, guess what I found?
What's that?
I'll share the picture. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
This is the south of Portugal in a place called Cabos.
Yeah, but we don't need the picture now. Why you
No,
got
we
the
don't need
picture?
the picture now, but
You're doing
that
something from nothing. Why are we looking at the picture? See, I
yeah,
know I got to keep on cutting. Why are we looking at a picture if we're doing something from nothing?
that's true.
You could have
That's
cheated and not even told us and just, hey, Don, add this. Ooh, they might have fencing. You could have got us with all that, Nadine. You lost an opportunity. Oh, man.
I don't want to cheat. I just got so excited.
Yeah, but this is something
So,
from nothing.
right. So
The
my
nothing is your mind, your cell, your membranes. We're pulling this from nowhere because of you guys' conversation about, you know, uh, um, Swan's possible up and coming travels.
mhm,
You know what I mean? In her spring chicken stage. You know what I
spring.
mean?
Yes, she's still a
Yeah.
spring chicken.
That's why I said it the way I said it. Spring chicken phase to be able to go over to Portugal, enjoy some of that sunlight and everything out there, take pictures and come back and all that good stuff. Okay. Why wait until you about to go? Let's go now. Nadine said she's been there. She just pulled up a picture because she was a little nervous, you guys. She couldn't remember what she really wanted to remember. That's all that is. I know
I,
the deal. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
because
but it's okay.
you said what kind of
Right.
ocean
And you're
scene?
supposed to go into your mind.
And I
Not the
remembered,
photographs.
yeah, there you go. I just remembered that
And
it
it's
wasn't a
supposed,
beach scene. It was
I
more,
understand, but it's supposed to stay in the mind frame. That's why I'm saying that. The sole reason from something from nothing, we're trying to prove that you can take my idea of line, shape, form, light, and surface. I have to separate it there because this is what I based everything on to get out
mhm,
of schools, to get jobs, to get people to get me to do portraits, murals, things like this. If I didn't how would you say, obey these ideas right here, I wouldn't be able to make it as an artist and I wouldn't be here in front of you guys, honestly. So that's why I say, just like a comic book artist would do, uh, how would you make it up? So then, all right, that's our horizon line right there. That's the water. Just know that if you take it up more, right? If your horizon line is up more, then you get more land. You see? If the horizon, say for instance, you don't really care to worry about the land and the horizon is low, you see, then you get what? More sky. You see, so then you have an interplay between here and then right here to play with the horizon line to get some nice perspectives at a C type of situation, depending upon what we want. If we want more people, then we put it higher and we put more interaction with people. You see what I'm saying? If we want more of the environment, when we might bring it down a little bit lower or leave it where it's at. Are we sitting underneath an umbrella? You know what I mean? Like just that fast from looking at the scene that you put up. All right, I'm going to use that idea. So then we're going to say there's a dot out here somewhere, you see, that's formulating that idea of that fencing that you had coming in that part of the land. See that there?
Oh, yeah.
So then I would use that dot to even make the fencing that you saw. You see? And then now I would randomly, or I would look at how many lines is there. Now, when I don't use a picture as a source, then you would make up the intervals. You know that when you get down here, they get closer together. By about halfway of your page, it should start decreasing in size or in width to start getting smaller to make you feel that disparity of things going away from you. So I'm going to loosely put that there for right now. That's because you bring the photograph up. I started from that idea there. How does that feel? Does it come close to the photograph that you threw up real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then now look, that gives us opportunity if we wanted to. We still can put the umbrella to make it seem like we're sitting somewhere higher up over top of that, pier that other people are walking on. Because remember, you had a couple of people walking on that pier.
Yep.
You see? And they can't be big people. You know what I mean? And, not unless you're saying you're right down there on it. So if you right down there on the shore or on the boardwalk, but then no, we would have to change the direction of the fencing then to make it appear that we're closer. So in other words, if I do a smaller box down here, this is for some of my Mavericks now. This is for my Mavericks out there, everybody. I know you see these boxes down here that I'm about to put in, right, Nadine?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So say, for instance, we have the horizon line here, right? That's the water edge because we at the water. This is a water scene. You know what I mean? Next, we got to ask Sue too. You know what I mean? But don't worry, I'm going to get there. But look, if we look out here, then now this line is going to, this dot outside of your page is going to have to move over to now get us to get an idea of saying, okay, how much are we on this boardwalk to be able to see. You see what I'm saying? If I make it bigger that way, look, then we're superimposing. You see what I'm saying down there? So now if I erase this away here, look at the scene the way we have it now. That would be, we're closer. That means we're actually on this boardwalk. Whereas now we're looking like we're up above somewhere. So we can say higher up on the horizon line, you have a more what? Aerial view. And a lot of times when it's low, you have what? More like you're on the land view. You see that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the idea, everybody, if you really understand it. And that's based upon where you're standing to look at the scene. So Nadine, wherever you was at, to stand there to take that shot of that area. If you can remember it without looking at the photograph, that would be great. But if you have to look at the photograph, then please do look at it. See how I look at it as not being wrong nor right. I just wish you wouldn't have pulled the photograph up, man. You know what I mean? We really could have went
I didn't want to
someplace.
lie. I didn't want to lie and say it was
But
from
you're not
memory.
lying. That's the artist in you, man. That was a creative moment, man. Sue
So
Ann, you too, man. Sue Ann probably pulled up something on the pad or something and
yeah.
said, okay, I remember that. I might want that in my scene. Let me bring that up at a key moment. You know what I'm saying?
uh, there you go.
So my thing, that's not lying, you guys. Uh-oh, we got
Right.
a comment from somebody?
Do we? Let me check.
I don't know. It sounded like you was about to break for a comment or something. Like,
Oh
somebody
no,
said something.
I was popping in looking to see if I was getting any comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thought there, because a lot of people don't talk about the placement of the horizon line or the eye level.
And just that subtle change, um, actually, it made sense because what's
Mm-hmm.
closer to you, how big it is,
Mm-hmm.
and that place is huge. And I was definitely up
Up.
higher,
Mm-hmm.
looking down because you had to walk down to go to that pathway where the fence
Mm-hmm.
was.
I'm sure it
And
was beautiful, but you can tell that you was way up
I was
and
up
you was
high,
looking down because that fence looks small as I don't know what.
right? And
So, see how I just snatched up something from nothing? I'm trying to show you guys the idea. She flashed that picture and I started blabbering my mouth to get her to take it off. Take it off, take it off, take it off. You know what I mean? Now we got it off. But look at how that picture imprinted me that fast.
right.
Because of what I'm saying to you guys, how I look at the world, line, shape,
Mm-hmm.
form, light, and surface. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always looking at edges. As soon as I
Mm-hmm.
look at them, I'm caught. I got it. It's
Mm-hmm.
imprinted in the front of my brain. Whether it
Mm-hmm.
makes it to the back of my brain is another issue. But because
Mm-hmm.
I do it so much every day, and you do the same, everybody, think about how many places you go that you can recognize and remember and not even have to go to Google Maps to show somebody how to get there. You'll tell them what markers to stop at. Even if you don't know the name of the streets, you'll remember where certain stores are at, colors of stores, if they haven't changed it, what it's going to look like. That's the something from nothing because your experience is the something. The nothing is you trying to recall what happened during that experience of something. So you're pulling nothing out of something. You're pulling something out of your memories. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's better than doing word problems. It's better than doing Sudoku, as they say. I guess that's what that's called, the numbers game that they play.
So,
Yeah, because they absolutely say that the exercise of evoking Pictionary and stuff like that works more areas of your brain at the same time than just doing the math equations or word problems and things. You see? Still there, everybody?
yep.
All right. Nadine, still there?
Yes, I'm still there. I was making a lot of noise, so I muted.
Oh, okay. I got
Apologies.
weirded for a second. Don't hate on me now. I got weirded for a second, like, oh my God, no, it did not happen again. Why is
Or
she muted?
or
You
is
know.
my screen frozen?
Mm-mm. You just went someplace else, and then on my end, because I'm on the phone, and then I
Oh,
couldn't hear you, and I
yeah.
heard Sue Ann. So come
Ah.
on, you guys. What else? Like, say for instance, we have a sky, so we don't want to say that we were sitting somewhere, Nadine. Rather
Mm-hmm.
not put an umbrella up there to clog up our sky scene. See
Yeah.
how I'm doing it? Like, say for instance, you was weak on putting sky elements in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say, okay, do it looking like we're sitting down. And all you had to do is just put that no matter how you did it, if you do it like how I did it on this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just one I just made up because I'm trying to get a grant from the cities of Atlantic City some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that one there, everybody?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more on it. Yeah, there you go.
All
So
right,
you
got
see
it.
how we have the umbrella idea there at the top? Say,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, the person or persons in the room or in our chat, and our stream was saying, oh man, I can't do sky elements, then I would say, okay, make it look like we're sitting by just putting an umbrella at the top of the page. The instant that you do that, it makes it feel to the viewer that you're taking the position of you sitting there looking at this scene. So say, for instance, if you had a hard time or you think you're going to have a hard time doing sky elements, then try doing an umbrella. And you know how those umbrellas look, everybody. And you will be doing the underside, so you'll have some type of gray if you started coloring. So if I was to pan over to this one real quick that I did for a class on Wednesday, then you get the total understanding of what I'm saying. You see? So that's what we did for that one, and we put a balloon in the sky because somebody brought up a balloon in the sky. You see? Hot air balloon. You got
Nice.
sailboats on the water, you see?
Mm-hmm.
We got watermelon and stuff on the table. So if we're not going to do the scene from like we're sitting at a table, I'm just giving that as an idea, as a thought. But say, for instance, you want to do one privately, everybody. And if you wanted to do one privately, that's another angle that you can take with this, everybody, okay? That's what we're saying. And then now I'll zoom back out a little bit so we can get our regular scene back. Yeah, I had to do my touch a little bit different now, Nadine, since our earlier situation. I can't hold my fingers there long.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe a little bit more because you can, there you go. That's everything. Okay. All right, so then let's do this then. Let's add some boats to the scene then. Let's go from the sky element, let's go straight to the water elements then. Okay. I'm going for sailboats, everybody. That'll be the easiest one. If you want to do other things, then we have to augment and make different shapes for them. But as we know, as things get closer to the horizon line, what would they do, everybody?
It's
They get smaller.
There you go. So watch how I put the small two little triangles here. And does that feel like a boat off on the distance? Going away from you, possibly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, look, I would do a medium-sized one somewhere near the shoreline here, right around here. And then point it towards the horizon line. See, we can make them a little bit bigger in this situation because we're not really at the shore. That's a bank situation there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So then now we got that triangle close to the fencing there, which is making that one seem what? Like it's further away. Well, let's
Mm-hmm.
do another one half the size of this one, somewhere out here. Look at the basic triangle shape that I'm making, everybody. We can point in that same direction, and look what's starting to happen. We have a feeling of a coastal situation at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else are we gonna put in there, everybody? Put another boat here then? Yeah, let's put another boat here. I'll put another one here. You can put them pretty much where you want to. Just make a triangle, two triangles, one main, two sails. You can even make one look like, because they're closer, make it look like the wind is really catching it. You know what I mean? By bulging it, and turning it some. See that? And that denotes the idea of where the wind is coming from to fill the sail to project the boat forward. So you can play with that idea too as well. You see?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that means that the wind one up top will be going this way, towards where you got it bubbling out. You see? We can change up this effect on this one and make it seem like it's catching the same wind, but that wouldn't make sense because it make it go towards the shoreline. So then now we have to bucket out this way because they may turn it, you see? Here. See how it curves there, and then now this one here. And now look it. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's moving. Where it's moving, we don't know. You see? Now you can add other boats smaller if you want to make it seem like this is at the distance, you see. One to seem further away than the other. See, so you got a harbor of commerce there, which we could say Portugal was, right? Because it's a seafaring nation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got to bring all of that out when you're doing these pieces now, everybody. You can't just, neglect the fact of what that nation is if we're going to travel there in mind and spirit and body. That helps us with understanding why we would see certain things in their harbor. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know when the boat festival is exactly out here in our area in the Delaware Valley, where they do it at Cooper River. They do it at the River Road and Lincoln Drive, where Boathouse Row is. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, we're not how would you say, a seafaring nation, but since we're on the water, we have elements of that idea. And funny enough, a lot of the idea comes from that area. Uh-oh. Nadine had that frozen look.
I did. Yeah, because I'm trying to fix something.
Mhm.
Sorry,
So
folks.
like when you think about it, then that means that a lot of the seafoods that we like to eat, things like that, come from this part of the world when they came over to the Americas to do the conquering nation thing. So just make you think about some of the seafood that we possibly, were attracted to that you look for in other areas when you go there. I'm sure they had shrimp and crawfish when they was on the Mediterranean. So when they got over here, they wanted to find, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, okay, I found the same materials here, but in abundance. Oh, okay. I won't have to leave this river on the Gulf of Mexico, Louisiana, the Bayou, New Orleans, and then
Mm-hmm.
shoot back across the Dominica and all of that. And it'll represent looks of the south of Spain. We got to point that out. You know what I mean? That's why in San Francisco, it has like that Latin feel. Not just because of the Mexican cultures, it's because of the Spanish and the Portuguese that came to those areas too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Queen of England and the Queen of Spain going at it for territory. So those are the fun things, man, to know about. So then with that being said, then what else can we put in this picture? What else can we put in there? We had the south of Spain, you guys. Help us out. Come on, Swen, what you want to see in here?
Suan is quiet.
No, I
Now
had
that
to
you
put
got us
myself,
up
I
on
had to
mute.
put myself on mute because I was going.
Mm-hmm.
What to see in there? Let's see. On the shore, well, waves for one thing, ripples in the sea, little wavy things.
Well, we'll get to the wavy things because we have to
Okay.
denote, movement.
Okay.
You
How
know what I
about
mean? But what about what type of
beach chairs?
structures,
Beach,
elements, you know?
beach chairs.
Say what?
Beach chairs.
No, well, we got a fence there, so where's the beach at?
Where's the beach?
Yeah, because we went
Beach.
on we was going off of the picture that Nadine threw up real fast, so I was trying to show how you can take something from nothing in that way. She said it was the actual scene from the south of France to make it a seafaring idea, looking like it's an open bay. So with that being said, on this boardwalk, the water comes right up to the rocks. That's at the
Okay.
bottom. So
Gotcha.
then with that being said, then what would we want on the boardwalk then?
Oh. Hmm.
Because if I really look at it, I'm gonna add one more line. It's really gonna make it seem like
There's a
we're
pathway.
we're looking up from high. No, we're looking up from high point.
Mm-hmm.
So now, without you pulling the picture up, this is what I gathered from just looking at the point of view we took. There has to be some type of land element here. to say that Nadine is standing up high, or we're taking the point of view of being up high. Let me get to the other marker real quick. You see? So then what happens is, in this area right here, this can be another terrain that the dot will be way over here somewhere. Why? Because that's the terrain that Nadine is standing on to take the picture. You can also say this is an area where long grass was, because I remember seeing some grass there where you were standing. Maybe even some rocks, like that other piece that you had when you went to iron. Remember, Nadine?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That means that I can play around and just put a rock here. You know what I'm saying? See how I'm pulling together nothing from something. That means that now I'm fusing a experience that we had already, that we learned about already, to show how things can look like at another distance. So I added this rock here. I can add another little rock right here, like how I add a little rock here. Maybe a couple of other little rocks. You know? And look at what we got. How does it feel, ladies? Does it feel like that one is close, right? And we're looking down from that point?
Yeah, it's coming alive.
Right, but then look at how that makes the scene look like we're looking down to it. You see what I'm saying? So we can stay with that idea right there. So then now when you say what's going to go on the boardwalk, if you say areas to sit, like tables, then we would have to say, okay, if we're going to put an area to sit or make it seem like somebody said, you know what, we're parking our party here, we can't make this circle for that table this big. You see that? We can't make that circle that big, because then it'll say that that's where we're at. We're closer. If I take half of this scene down here and just take and then do a half a circle like that at the bottom, and then put a bottle on there, what does it look like? We look like we're sitting on the boardwalk to look at this scene. You see that? So since we don't have that idea, that means that the table can't be that big. We have to make it small to say where the area is going to be. Then all I would say is, you know, the umbrella can be a little bit bigger. But then the areas underneath would be smaller. Say, for instance, you put some square tables there. See that?
Yeah.
Does it feel like we're far away now? Does that feels like a believable enough tent for a large amount of people, maybe 20 to 30 people at a distance like that, possibly?
Possibly.
Yeah. This is all I'm trying to say. When you're taking something from nothing, you know, that's what you're saying. And look at how we just use basic shapes to make that idea. Now, would I make another one so it can feel like they're closer? Then maybe I'll make one that's going to cover this side that's a little bit bigger than the fencing. So to seem like one of those tents like so, like this. Now, I know this is not in your picture, Nadine, right?
Right.
A tent like this is feasible in this area, maybe even a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter and closer to the shore, because maybe you'll have like an entertainment area. Or you may want an area where people are sitting closer to the water to get the feeling of the water. I've been at parties like that, everybody, where I'm doing the artwork, and then they'll have a tent set up like this. You see? And I have a little venting window here. You know, maybe a little venting window here that will go the sides there, you see? Maybe even make it look like the sides is rolled up. You see that by putting a little rolly there? You can put the same thing in the front, put a little ball there, and then put a line that runs the length. And that could say that the sides are rolled up, you see? And then you just would erase out where that is. See that already, you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Does it feel like you see how we're using that scene now, Luann?
Mm-hmm.
Using based upon where we said it's going to be.
Mhm.
Sure, those people in the picture was way smaller than that. You know what I mean? There was about no taller than the opening of the tent that we just made.
Mhm.
You see? Then even from that line, you can get some of this opposite side because we don't know what was. So from that same dot that you made to make the fence, you can make the walkway come down this way. And that's right behind there. Now, the reason why I'm stopping and I'm starting it right there is because that's the side of your page. You see? That's the edge of your page there. You see? So now I'm trying to show you that if you was using a dot on your horizon line or your eye level, right? Sometimes that dot is going to be off your page. It's definitely going to be off your page.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the photograph that you took, you can see that if you follow that line of that fencing straight up, you'll run right into where the horizon line is off your page. That's how you can find angles of approach in photographs. This is how you can find out where the eye level point of view the particular photographer has taken to take that particular shot.
Mhm.
You know? So now we have a foreground, a middle ground idea. We got a sea idea. Do we want clouds in the sky?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because now we got to talk about that too. Because now if we look at our situation, you can see how your sky is doing this. If you look at this little uh, edge that I have here, that I'm doing here. This, dang, man, what's going on with the markers already?
Yeah, I'm having that too.
Here we go. All right. Now, look, if you look at this little arrow that I'm about to do up here, your sky is really doing this. It's going into your space. So if I do it up here and here, your sky is literally doing this to go towards the horizon line from wherever you're sitting or standing to look at a scene. You see, the land is doing that too. The land is doing the same thing. You see, if I draw the arrow there, you can see that the land is doing the same thing. Your sides will do the same thing too as well. So are we trying to do, how would you say, clouds? Pretty seagoing clouds that have a bottom to them? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yes.
That's me. I have no idea whatsoever.
You want to start at the top and then you can come this way and then make these half round shapes to start off. You see? Because you get nice fluffy clouds at the sea. And then now you can make them tail off. And then now what you want to do is align something like this. You see? Now what that's going to do is it sets up the bottom of your cloud. You see? Now I can come down just below it just a little bit, and now that's the bottom of the cloud. You don't have to fill it in. I just need for you to see it. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So now as we get closer to the horizon line, they get a little bit smaller and they stop at a certain distance from the horizon line, you see? Whereas now we can do another one that's kind of big like this, right? Almost like a real cold front or warm front. And then now we can have those clouds down here in the bottom of this one here. You see? Those round shapes here. It almost feels like ice cream the way they do. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So at the shoreline, you can get clouds like this. Even over Philadelphia, you get clouds like this every now and then. So I would say to everybody, no matter where you at, look up and above you to see how the sky looks. And notice when you get to this area right here at the horizon line, that area is going to seem the lightest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the way through to here, right above the horizon line. That's the lightest. And then that's where pretty much your perception of your clouds are going to shop. They get pretty much smaller and smaller. So it seems like they're further away. You see, you don't have anything real pronounced in front of you. You see, when I put those smaller ones there, did it feel like everything flattened out and it seemed like those clouds are sitting on a puff of air?
Yeah.
Yeah, yours should feel the same way, ladies, okay? Oh, I'm sorry about that reflection there, you guys, at that point of the cloud there. Sorry about that.
That
Yeah,
comes with the territory, right?
see what my hand, all right, so then what I can do is I can fold a piece of board up or something that I can cover that for a second so everybody can see. Because I'm tall enough at that point, everybody, to block that reflection for a minute.
Mhm.
So watch, everybody. You see the cloud now? See it, Nadine?
Yeah.
That's me blocking the light, the overhead
Okay.
light that we have, okay? So
Yep.
now you can see the bottoms of those clouds, and does it seem like it's going in perspective even more, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you see, this is the way that you can use something from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
How was the clouds looking? Suen, how was the clouds looking in the pictures that your granddaughter or your niece sent you? You know what I mean? So you can see the terrain and you can get to feel the terrain before you get there. What did those skies look like when she sent those photographs? You know what I mean?
Your younger sister, right?
With my baby sister.
The baby
Okay,
sister.
then what did those photographs look like? What did the clouds look like? What did the air look like? It felt like. You see what I'm saying? And we're just making it up now. It doesn't have to be perfect and exact, but we have to have the feeling or the expression of it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
Show me clouds. She just shows me terrain.
Yeah, because I can go to Dover, Delaware, and we can see scenes like this.
Sure can.
I can go to the Maryland Harbor. You know, I can go to Egg Harbor, New Jersey. I can go up to North Jersey to the coastline in how would you say Long Branch and see some scenes like this off the boardwalk. You see, if I was in San Francisco, this scene could be some of anywhere in San Francisco. And then you got the Bayou and you got the Gulf of Mexico and you got the Caribbean. You got the same type of seagoing type of idea. So anything next to water may have the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to get you to see, to understand, to feel. Because you might not have the opportunity to go like our individuals we have here. We're lucky to have them here that they can travel and Nadine can talk about what the photograph felt like. Swag can talk about our future events. So that's great, everybody. But a lot of times I worry about the individuals that may not have the zeal and the want to really go like that. So how else can you go at this point, you know, is through your creativity. There's nothing wrong with taking an area like Atlantic City or Coney Island and turning it into the south of France. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. What's the townships along the Delaware going on River and Lincoln Drive? Whatever those are, you know, it kind of feels like this, but we have more trees on that particular idea. So y'all have more of the chestnuts and all this good nut, you know, water crescents and all that good stuff. Whereas if you just try to recall that South of France picture that Nadine showed, we didn't really see all of that going on the coastline. So that means that it's not our coastline as far as freshwater to seawater is concerned.
I didn't even really look at the pictures you put up there.
No, it was just real quick. I'm just saying, just think in your mind though, when you was looking at the pictures that your sister sent you, what type of plant life was at the shoreline if she sent you any shoreline pictures? You know? And then you have to ask yourself, is that a ocean or is it a lake? If it's an ocean, it's going to have a certain look to the plants or the
Mm-hmm.
greenery. Whereas in a wetland, it's going to look a little bit more lush, like how a tropical place would look,
Mm-hmm.
like the Everglades in Florida. So on one side of the bank, it may look like North Morocco, may look like parts of the Everglades. So I had friends that went to these spots, and that's what they were sending me in the cards. Man, this seemed just like when I went to. I was like, wow, that's funny, man. Same people were there to conquer, do the conquering nation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start understanding, our world and, terrain you stand on a little bit more. Like now, you talked about the wiggly lines in the water, right? But let's get into it. What are those wiggly lines really representing? What are they representing? The forces of where things are moving, the force of the underlying undulating movement of the water, the current underneath. Then you're also looking at the possibilities of doing what? Doing the reflection of the sky in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
Oh.
it's just color based, those ripples mean that. Because when you see the white caps on top of those little ripples, that means that that's the crescent part. That's when the wind is smacking the top of the wave off.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that white part, depending upon how aggressive the wind is at the shore front, cutting across the waters, and how much I would say vibration is going on underneath the water with the current to make the top current, rise high to the crash hard low, you know. So it's a nice opportunity to get to understand the biospheric movement, as they call it, or the movement of the terrain that you're on. So then let's look at it. The lines that would be back here on the horizon line will be closer together. Anything near the horizon line is always going to be closer together. Now, as you come away from there, they're going to start to expand. What I mean by that is the length from here to here is going to expand as you come down and get greater as you get down in front here. No matter what the interval is, it has to be wider down here. So you can have a larger one like this here. Okay, that means that by the time you get down here, that wave pattern has to be at least that far apart. You see that on the side there?
Mm-hmm.
So that's your wave. And that's the interval between your horizon movement. So then watch. Here, right? A little bit here. But now the boat is moving in that direction. You see? So then now that'll be there. Where is the light coming from? Is the light coming from here, here, or here? A lot of times when the light is coming from this direction, it gives off the feeling of going towards dusk. Light coming from the left has a feeling of coming, it's dawn.
Mm-hmm.
If I have it backwards, please somebody correct me. So sun rising, you know what I mean? Sun setting, high noon. That's the way it's felt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, nobody's saying anything. I'm gonna go for right in between high noon and the starting of the setting or the moving away of the sun. So that means that my shadows are going to be on the opposite side, all on the opposite side, not in here, all on the opposite side, all on the left side. The light's coming from here, all that's on this side. It's in here. You see, and then now we can see the movement that way. It's in here now. Now we're going to see the sail a little bit more, and we'll see that in there. You see? And you can put some of the reflective qualities of a white sail in there. And now the water is moving this way underneath that fencing that's there. You see? Now those waves will still undulate here, making sure not to get it into your sails. You see? Erase it out. Look at that. And it's all basic shapes. Notice how we didn't have to talk too much about perspective except for that one dot and making things smaller. And look at how you can get and then the arrow of how the perception of your point of view moves. Even in photographs, you can see that movement of the arrows that I made there. I'll do it down here so you can see. The arrows of your planes of sight or your point of view goes towards the inside, into your world. That's what they mean by you looking into your world, everybody. Look at what these arrows are doing.
Mhm.
Look at what they represent. Look at the perspective of it, or the perceived perception of perspection. Notice what they're doing. You see, some of you may see symbolism and all that good stuff. Yeah, you're going to see that. The four winds ideas, whatever. But notice how we're going into your space, everybody. You see it now down there, Nadine?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just know that, everybody. You're looking into your space, you're going into your world. That's what they mean by that. All my people that said they was going to join us from the park, if you're hearing me, you can co-sign me and say, no, he said it and did the same drawing in the park.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? With the arrows at the bottom. The talk perspective. I did the same thing in the park. If you look to the left side of that, the arrow idea, to show how placement is important of shapes and lines, because you're perceiving distance in there. Because I put in those smaller boats in the background, because I put those bottoms at a certain angle underneath the clouds, you see, it's making you believe that there's a certain point of view that we use Nadine's quick picture that she pulled up of the south of France. You know,
Yeah.
you see, we just used it real quick, Nadine.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that today because that's our something from nothing idea. Now we're fusing both ideas now. Since you pulled
Mhm.
the photograph up, we're talking about how you may use pieces of a photograph that you may remember now.
Mhm.
You say, shoot, I ain't got it, but I remember this picture. I remember because I was standing there and I remember how lovely the scene looked and everything, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Something from nothing, man. How to use it. You know, trust yourself, everybody. That's what you're doing. You see, look, the light's coming from this way, then that means that there wouldn't really be that many shadows on this side of the boat. It'll be on the opposite side and longer this way because the light is coming this way. See?
Mhm.
So then now in between these boats, what I would do is that loose pattern that I was talking. So you notice these lines are closer together. As soon as I start moving them apart at a certain degree, what starts to happen? You start to feel like that undulation is starting to happen. Notice how when I get down here, I make it wider and wider. Like how I said in the arrows there, you see some of that water will be here in between that fencing there till you hit the shoreline. Boom. Right there. Boom. You see that? Look. And even by looking at the board, what does it feel like?
There's movement. It's
Yeah.
action.
Mm-hmm. But it really feels like that water is flat moving in front of you. Right? Yeah, it gives that feeling, especially when I step back from the board. When we do the hard lines, you know what I mean? Then we really see it. Yeah, it's only 11:30. And we only talked about the same things we normally talk about: line, shape. We alluded towards form, which is space, everybody.
Mhm.
And about how the space is feeling. Does it feel like we're standing at a certain point of view? Does it feel like it's a human view? Does it feel like, an actual terrain that we would be in somewhere? You see, if I was to add people in there, I wouldn't make them big and identifiable. You really can't identify people at this distance that
Mhm.
we're alluding towards, that we're perceiving. You see? So say, for instance, they had the barbecue pit in here. See how I go straight to food, Nadine?
Always,
The
always goes to
button.
food.
You see, and that's one of the barbecue grills in there. You know what I mean? Where you would run up and say, yo, let me get one of those chicken on a stick or something. Or maybe you got a salad. I don't know. You know what I mean? Huh? Maybe it's a whole area over here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Boom. And now we just put a couple of little legs on there. Now we got our other barbecue pit over here. I don't know what's on it. We can't see that far in detail. We're not eagles. We're not hawks. You know what I mean? We're not peregrine falcons. You know what I mean? You would see it about to that level like that. Yeah. Maybe now smoke. Look, maybe now smoke coming from it. You see?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that.
You know, yeah. And not fire like fire smoke, just smoke from a barbecue grill. Look at that. See how I just did those lines like that? You know, if I erase them out and make them solid, then it'll look like it's an actual, like, smoky fire. Maybe we can make
Mhm.
some of this smoke come this way and come up over the front here, you see? And come up over the front here like that. And just a couple, because they may smell it down there. You may be smelling it up there where you at. Well, no, where we say the wind was coming. Oh, well, we already dictated that the wind is coming this way. So, yeah, you might smell that, Nadine.
Mhm.
Might smell that. Is it one of those stone boardwalks or is that a wooden boardwalk? I couldn't remember to see that much, Nadine.
I
You see
believe it
what I
was
could?
stone.
Okay, but you see what I was able to grasp from that picture that quick?
Yep.
Just the angles of where the solid masses were. And now, if you can remember that alone, look at what you can do, everybody, with the something from nothing idea. You okay? You okay, Swan?
I have to stand up every once in a while.
No,
I'm
I
back.
understand. How's your piece coming out?
Decent. It's hard to see. It's
All
pencil.
right. No, I see your boat and everything. Way to go. Way to go.
Thanks.
Add some elements that's personal to you now. Add some elements that may be personal to you. Y'all guys know me. I'm gonna put food in everything. So I put an element that's me. I put that tent with the barbecue getting down. All right, then somebody else help us out here. What else we want to put in there, Nadine? What you putting in yours that's extra compared to what we're doing on the screen?
Extra? I haven't done that yet.
You haven't done that yet? You still getting
No.
your light together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. At least you're recognizing that. You know what I mean? Me and my walkway, I don't know what I want to do down there.
I'm
I
putting
don't
in
know if I
another.
want to do see if I do those long lines, then what you'll have to do is you make them horizontal. And this is where people want to try to get a ruler. But all you have to do is do the same movement of the horizon line, and then those will be planks.
Mm.
And it's the same rule. As they're far away from you, they get closer together because you can't see the individual planks. By the time you get down here, you see, you should be able to see the individual planks. And notice how it's parallel to the horizon line. You see? Look. Ooh, went off a little bit. Put it back on track. There. See, I don't want mine to be perfect. I like mine's being loose. That's why a lot of times people can tell, hey, Don, you was actually there on this one. It's based upon intent. Right now, a lot of people that know of me, they'll say, well, Don, this looks very cartoonish, very, playful. And why can't it be playful?
Mm.
Is my intent always got to be to show you an actual real space or give you an expression of a space? That's the question I would ask everybody
Mm.
without something from nothing. Because Nadine wasn't wrong when she pulled up the photograph. But if we're talking something from nothing, how does that work? Does it have to look real or does it have to express realness?
Express.
Yeah. But that's the
Express.
question that everybody has to ask themselves when you're ever doing pieces. You have to ask yourself, what's your intent? Is my intent to make you see and feel a real space or a space that's expressive? I'm expressing the feeling of a shoreline. I'm expressing the idea or the feeling of what a shoreline has to offer as festivities of celebration, family love, community love, nation love. You see what I'm saying? These are things you would do in any one of those situations. Set up a tent area where you got your grills going. And then you would go from there. So we had a high point looking down on this scene. You know. So now if you want everybody, I can start going in and darkening in lines so you can see how I would alter as I'm coming out of the scene. You know what I mean? Like, this is just the template. Now, say for instance, like how Nadine was doing, she went straight with the marker like we've been doing. So your alterations are going on at the same time you're establishing what's there. You see? But if you do it in pencil first to build your confidence, then you can have the liberty and the freedom of like how I'm about to do to show you how I would use the cloud idea. You see? Maybe one or two in here and in here to go to where the edge is here, you see? To show how that edge is rolling like this. See, the clouds would roll, and it depends upon what direction you're saying the wind is pushing that cloud or how it's riding on that cusp of air. You see? Yeah. Look at that, everybody. Yeah. Now, if you was making it like a coloring book, I would leave that area hollow like this. So then this way, I'll leave an opportunity for the person to put that blue-gray or that Payne's gray underneath of the cloud. You see what I mean? You think about it. What color is the cloud no matter what's going on? If you had heavy, dense clouds in the area, what color is the underbelly or the bottom of the cloud? Anybody?
Is it gray?
It can be gray. It can be blue-gray. Sometimes you see some purple in it if it's a real storm. You see what I'm saying? Think about the different colors you see on that underneath of the cloud. Sometimes you see greens if it's over the ocean water, right? Or am I the only one that's really looking to really try to see the sky? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Understand how that works, you know? Then look at this part, everybody. Is the sky darker than the sea, or is the sea darker than the sky?
The sea is usually darker than the sky,
There
right?
you go. Yeah, there you go. You see, now you see I'm not doing a straight line. I'm doing like a wavy line back there. You see? Maybe I'll put one or two of the clouds that we said is in the distance there. You see? Make sure I don't get it on my cell that the cell is covering. You see? Put the underneath to the cloud. You see? Put this little one here. Now we can start putting the boats in. I'll start with this one here. You see? You know, and now this is where I'll start putting some of the wave movement in. That shows the direction on where this is going. So off the back, you have a little bit there, you see? Underneath here, here, and then now the sail. And I can put a little bit of a curve in it to say that it's still getting some of that wind that these in the front is getting, you see? And that gives a little bit more character. Look, I'm gonna take this one and really bend it, you know, so it can be seen as that. And get here and then now. You see? This one here. You see? Look. Now I'll put the front of the boat there. That's going to be down lower. You're not really going to see the sides of the boat that much, you know, or it depends upon how you want to do the boats. But you see what I'm doing, right? Look at how I'm outlining those lines. And if you look at my blue lines, you'll see some of them I have altered. When I went to my final idea, I changed the curve of all three of those boats that got black on them. If you look at some of the clouds, I changed some of the movement of the cloud when I put that permanent line there. You see the differences now? And this is really just line and shape to achieve our idea. And we use Nadine's, you know, South of France piece. And this is part of our something from nothing idea, showing a far distant place that you may have gone to or you may have not gone. to be able to replicate that feeling, that idea of a coastal situation, a shoreline situation, or the Great Lakes. Will we see that around the Erie Lakes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if we can see it at Boathouse Road like this, then we definitely can see it at, the Erie Lakes or the Great Lakes in Chicago. Right?
Mhm.
Yep, everybody. You see how those black lines go in, the suggestive lines of shape. And we didn't even talk color yet. And notice how nobody's stressed out over it.
Nope. No stress. Just happiness.
Yeah, happiness, or how would you say observation, concentration. Nadine's signature is always she's happy to do art. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
she has frustrations, but they're happy frustrations.
Happy
Yeah.
frustrations.
Yeah, that's how a lot of my frustrations come across when I'm creating. Is just be happy. Oh well, I'm silly today, and I'll look at it like, oh wow, gotta make it happen.
Hmm.
Joanne's kind of there, but she's very serious sometimes with what she absolutely wants to see.
Hmm.
And that's a good thing too. That's being meticulous. But on both sides of the equation, we got to understand how to work within our natural realm to get something to go.
Mm.
So the reason
Mhm.
why I bring that up, everybody, because once again, there is no wrong and right in your disposition. It's how your
Mhm.
disposition is going to be able to create to relate a world to us, or your inner world, your micro world to us. This is what I tell people that, maybe they had a traumatic situation. And say, for instance, you want a little kid around you to be able to talk about the situation. Well, have them draw things.
Mhm.
Just have them draw things so it can feel like it's outside of them at that point. That's what that has proven in art therapy to help people in trauma a lot of times, is to have an idea of being able to pull it outside of you to see it.
Mm.
Then when it's on the outside of you, I'm not saying all the time, but in some situations it has proven that being able to do that small act has saved or helped or assisted a lot of individuals to get
Mm.
past experiences that were counterproductive,
Mhm.
you want to say. And any one of them you want to put in, all the way up to the drug epidemic that we're seeing outside.
Mhm.
You can put that in there and you'll see the same idea happening.
Mhm.
I've worked with individuals in that situation, and right down the block from my studio, basically. I pulled some paper out, had some easel with me, and just did it. Nobody
Mhm.
took pictures, none. I didn't take pictures. That's when the Dunkin' Donuts was still open on Allegheny in Kensington, near
Mhm.
the
Yep.
Wells Fargo, everybody.
Yep.
And then just to see a person break down and cry because they see their demons in front of them on the page.
Mm.
Had one person take the drawing board and threw it. And I didn't get upset because I knew what it was. He really saw himself and did
Mhm.
not like it.
Mm.
But in the long run, come to find out that helped that individual.
Wow.
You know, that's what I was told. Like, oh, remember that guy that threw the board and you didn't get mad, and everybody else was like, no, F him up. Like, no, don't beat him up. He doesn't need to be beat up. He's angry. Why is he angry? Look at what he drew.
Mhm.
He drew a circle with a face that had puncture marks in it and everything. Because
Mhm.
the question was, can you draw the side that you don't like?
Mm.
Everybody
Awesome.
can draw the side that we like of ourselves and love of ourselves. I'm asking you, I asked the person right on the spot, draw the side of you don't like. And that's what came out. And so, yeah, it was an explosion. Yeah. I expected one. You know what I mean? And he gave me my one on that day. But I
Mhm.
learned from that experience that what that meant. You know what I mean? It meant that human beings, that's a mirror effect. So yeah, imagine if you drew the opposite side of yourself, or the sides of yourself that you really don't really enjoy and you just don't talk about it.
Mhm.
Could that assist you in your journeys, in your creations? Did it help you come up with a whole nother side of paintings like it did with Basquiat?
Mm.
You think about Basquiat's paintings, what were they describing? His discomforts. Sure, you can say in a childlike manner and all the things that everybody said, but what was he pulling something from nothing? He's using that concept, something from. I don't want you to think that that's my concept alone, too, everybody. The something from nothing concept is what really made, abstract art become what it is in the world. You know what I mean? Because it's under the belief that you're Pi Point and that all things come from you anyway. So whether you tell us where these forms and shapes are coming from is not the point. The point is that you're pulling them from what we would perceive as nothing, but it's from your mind. That's the something.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you're pulling through your life experiences at that point to pull out selective and particular things that attracted you in your experience, in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say
And then,
something?
yeah, sure, no problem.
So I was in Kensington yesterday,
Mhm.
and I recognized because I've been there before, and we had street Joe's, the chicken on the stick things you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
And also yesterday I was at Logan Square at the fountain, and
Yeah,
look up and notice the sky.
yeah.
Sky is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Lots
Philadelphia. Our
of,
area has beautiful skylines. We just don't look at it no more.
exactly. People look at the buildings and the people. If you look at the sky, it's a whole real thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's cool because what I'm saying to you too is you can look at just like if we drop the horizon down closer to the bottom of the page, Suan, then we would deal just with the sky. You see? So if you ever wanted to do that in a piece where you're looking at a skyline and you want to interpret it, hey, if you would just want to interpret it from your mind, move the horizon line down to the bottom of the page down here, or somewhere from the middle of the page to the bottom. And then now you have more sky to deal with, you see, to
Mm-hmm.
play with things, to move things around. Like, look, let's put either an airplane or an air balloon, or we're going to put both in the sky with the last 10 minutes that we got.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how we do this, everybody. Very easy. Think
I gotta
about
go.
what, huh?
I gotta go.
Okay, no problem,
Thank
Sue Ann.
you.
Thanks for being.
Thanks for joining us.
You
Thank
know
you.
it. You know it. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy church.
Thank you.
You know it. Pray for the world and us.
Yep.
So, all right, here we go, Nadine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put the air balloon closer, but I'm gonna do it in black since we don't
Okay.
have that much time left.
Okay.
So I do a circle over here, you see, and then now I put a half circle going upward at the middle. You see what I did
Mm-hmm.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Now those are your safety line area that goes down to the basket that you'll make, and you'll definitely have to see the bottom of the basket.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Look
Yep.
how easy that was. Now you can put the shadow on the bottom half and the back side, which would be what? Our picture plane right.
Mm-hmm.
See that? See how I did that? And
Oh
then now
yeah.
with those dash marks there, I put a couple of lines that accentuate the curvature idea of it
Mm-hmm.
to make you believe that it's really thicker than what it is just by putting a shadow there. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Let's
Oh
put
yeah.
in the other one here, this boat here, so we really can feel the experience even more. I mean, because, yeah, these are yachts. This is what they do. Now you can show more of the boat here. You can get into the design if you want. That's up to you. Me, myself, I'm an expressionist, so I'm just going to show you some of the expression, you see, to
Mm-hmm.
give you the idea. The intention is to get you to feel that this is a boat on water. Once I've done that and then you can really see it, then I've done my job to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, how would you say, sweat it anymore. I don't beat myself up anymore. Once I'm able to get that to go, I let it so that the audience can say, I don't like your boat. But as soon as you say boat, you got to
Boat.
ask yourself,
Yep.
right.
Celebrate.
As soon as you say boat, I celebrate. I throw my hands up. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
It's their right to say they don't like my boat, but they
Mhm.
described it as a boat. So if you described it as a boat, I did my job as an artist.
Right.
You know, whether you like it is secondary to a real artist. You know, I don't care if you like it or dislike it. What
Mhm.
was your description of it? That's what I'm trying to get. And if you said, yeah, your clouds, they look like clouds, but I don't like them, then I'm okay because you described them as a cloud.
Mhm.
Or you said something slick like, why do your clouds look like ice cream cones?
Because I was hungry.
There you go. You can answer that. That's what I was waiting for, Nadine, because I was hungry. Yeah, that's what
I was
happened.
hungry.
Yep. You know, or that's the way I like doing clouds.
Mhm.
But as soon as you describe them or distinguish them as clouds or as atmosphere or as sky, I don't care what you say after that. You say, you know what, Don? That's the ugliest painting I've ever seen. The ugliest painting of a seascape. The ugliest painting of a shoreline scene. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're right, but you're still calling it what it is. So I don't know how
Right.
bad it is if you still can identify it as what it
Right.
is. You know, this is why when I do abstractions, a lot of times for myself, I'll do abstractions using a landscape as an idea,
Mhm.
using the general forces or the movements, the surface movements as an idea.
Mhm.
And if you look at what we just did we or did we not just do that with just shapes?
Yep.
So that's why, you know, you hear me say to people, I don't want to hear you can't draw. You can draw, you just choosing not to right now.
Mhm.
So I know I got you, Nadine, because now Nadine is just drawing with the Sharpie like it ain't nothing. I'm watching your movement. See, before I wasn't looking at the screen. Now I'm looking at the screen like, wait a minute, look at Nadine moving with the marker all efficiently.
I'm just
All that
flowing.
confidence going down. I bet you if you look at some of the other videos, you won't see that confidence you see
Nope.
today.
Nope. Nope.
That's what I'm loving about this, Nadine. It proves it all the time. That's why sometimes I got to get quiet when everybody's talking because I'm looking at that, the journey.
Because it
So when
is
you
a
say
journey.
certain things, that's why I get exasperated because I'm saying, no, your hand is showing that you know so much more than what you're giving yourself credit for. That's why I say give yourself credit for your successes. Don't feel bad that you're giving yourself credit for your
Right.
success.
Right.
Did you tingle? You saw it. Say, wow, that really does look like a boat.
Right.
Who cares what somebody else says?
Say, I don't care.
Right, you see it as a boat. You
Yep.
see it as a shorefront.
Right.
Heck, it don't have to be the south of France. Like I said, it could be Atlantic City, baby. Ocean
Mm-hmm.
City, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Egg Harbor, Atlantic City, or Egg Harbor Township, New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. Anywhere around you. Dover, Delaware, Delaware Harbor, down there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk to the guys that go fishing. I guarantee you to say, yeah, we see scenes like that depending upon where you go. You can
Mm-hmm.
see scenes like this all the way up to New England,
All the way up.
Connecticut, Boston. You got to think about it. Where is all our land touching water? You're gonna have that feeling. So it should tell you something about conquering nations and things. Because now, if you look at the Netherlands, you can see why a lot of our stuff is German, Yiddish. You see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everybody? When you go to Germantown, you
Mm-hmm.
see,
Where
you're
did
gonna
that come from?
right. It came from those conquering nations or those explorer nations that came over and made deals with whatever was going on. And then once again, if everybody wants to check that in Philadelphia, you can go to Front and Market and see an Indian standing on a turtle,
Mm-hmm.
holding a turtle with an
Mm-hmm.
eagle on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And read that plaque, and you can understand what was happening with one nation called the Rancocas
Mm-hmm.
Indians and the Great White Buffalo, who was William Penn.
Yep.
All right. And then you'll understand where he came from and why some of our architecture looks the same at some of these far distance places that people travel to. You know what I mean? Like Nadine just co-signed all of what we were just saying when she said, no, she's been to San Fran, she's been to these different places, and then they have a similar look to the same coastline that's over there in the Mediterranean.
It's something.
Mm-hmm.
It is something. I was in Germany
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at the some was it Berlin?
Mm-hmm.
And
Same
I was
general.
yeah, and I was looking at the structures and I was just like, that looks like Memorial Hall or
There you
you
go.
know.
There you go. I'm trying to get you to see it. You know, it's there. You know, and that's what helps when you're doing different drawings, because that's what I saw when professors was asking me to do drawings of different places and scenarios in some of these classes.
Mhm,
I would go to different places in the city because I did the tours and everything.
mhm,
So I would go to different parts of the city, say, okay, this is German, this is that Swedish thing over here. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And then they were
mhm,
like, man, how you getting to it? And I told them and said, you know what? You're right. Yeah, if you follow in those nations that you go to visit, you know what I mean? You got to realize that those was conquering nations sometimes, and they went out to conquer, and they would leave their influence everywhere they went. It's the same thing like today. If America goes somewhere, our American interest goes somewhere, it leaves our imprint there.
mhm,
Well, you know, this is the way it's supposed to be done, but it doesn't negate the fact that if we look at shorelines and we're saying we're going to depict it, and we don't look at Amsterdam and the Netherlands and see how those ocean painters, you know what I mean, were there, and we enjoy those painters, and then now you have to look and say why. For the
mhm,
same reason why we're enjoying our one here. And then when they came this way, when all those painters came this way, what did they do?
mhm.
They would
It
paint scenes that would look close to what they came from.
right.
And if you look at our areas in the Delaware Valley and then cross-reference them with those areas that you go and you visit, you'll see it's almost the same type of terrain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I enjoy. I'm like, wow, okay. And that's why when I was in college, I used to always argue with the kids that were able to travel.
Mhm,
Like, you travel, but did you really investigate? Because, you know, I'm investigating here just by going to the library, looking at photographs to the point where I can almost smell the sea, and I've never been there.
mhm.
But because I know what ocean water smells like, I'm looking at this picture and I can smell it. The salt in the air, my lungs expanding bigger. Ooh, yeah. Then you know me with food. I'm smelling some type of fish being barbecued or something on it. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
just me. Everybody knows it now. Like, nah, Don, if he's gonna make it up, he's gonna fuse some type of food into that scene.
Mhm.
Something, because that's human. I've never seen a human be angry while they're eating. I'm sorry. I
Unless the
haven't
food is
seen it.
just not good.
If it's not good, we just gonna get up and drink the water and still have a little bit of fun unless somebody comes over talking bad to us about the meal.
Right.
Then we're just gonna leave. You see, may turn over the table depending upon what type of person you are, but while you're eating, I've never seen it. I've seen
Mm,
animals do it where they're particular, you know, they're in protective mode, mine. But I've never
mhm,
seen a human being have to be that way.
mhm,
As soon as you put the sandwich in their hand, though, it's there. If you try to take it out of their hand, what's going on? What you doing? You
mhm,
know what I mean?
mhm.
So it's like if I put a sandwich in your hand and all of a sudden let go and then come back and try to grab it, that's when I'm gonna have a problem. Right? Like, oh, wait a minute, it's in my possession now.
You gave it to me. Why are you taking it
Hey, what
back?
you think? Other than that, if it's not poisoned, then I don't want you touching the sandwich again.
Mhm,
It doesn't matter how dirty my fingers may be or how clean they are.
mhm.
It's mine when you put it in my hand. You know what I mean?
Mine.
Yeah. So it's human, man. It's human, man. It's
Mhm,
human. And that's where I like to point everybody back to understand their human experience and really enjoy and love and reintroduce yourself to the terrain. Really love looking at the land. It's like how Sue said, oh, I love looking at the sky. Yeah.
mhm,
Philadelphia has the best skyline. I'm being honest.
mhm,
Not as far as the buildings is concerned, for its natural placement. for the natural elements, the way the clouds coalesce, the way the sun, when it sets in the west over West Philly, and how it makes the bridges all look orange and purple and different colors. You know what I mean? It's like, if you go to other cities, do you really see it that way? I don't know. I know when I go out to Elizabeth, I go to Trenton, go to North Jersey. If I go to North Jersey, Elizabeth, and part of that whole Metro North idea, then we get the same type of cloud cover that they get. We're on the same cusp. So it's the same dramatics, but you don't see it in between. So that's another one that everybody can look at for themselves. Like, because when I'm at the Cooper River, if I'm looking towards Philadelphia when it's setting, beautiful skies, man, I'm telling you, some beautiful pictures. You've seen them, Nadine, because of what your occupation and what your training was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Those outtakes, man, it was like, whoo, did you see that bridge color, man? What
I
time was
know.
that they went there? Let me go there and look at it from that time frame.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing because like now you got the man-made lines, the straight lines cutting into nature.
There you go.
Okay. And that contrast is just unbelievable. You know, it's really.
That's
And
the
then
Quaker influence. That's the whole religious aspect of our area at that point. I had a debate with a young lady the other day that didn't really understand it. And I was like, no, that's Quaker influence. She was like, what you mean? I said, it's still about Harrisburg, Erie, there. That's the Quaker Amish seat. Everybody knows that. But then that influence is what controls Philadelphia. And a lot of people want to argue. It's like, hey, man, just go back. I'll just go back to the Rizzo area. And where did information come down or rules come down to the way they was going to have to run the city? He would get them from Harrisburg.
right.
And then now he would enact and do what he did. All right, so that's the same thing that Cheryl is doing, Miss Parker is doing, Mayor Parker is doing. Let me put some respect on her name. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So Mayor Parker, Mayor Cheryl Parker, is implementing certain things, and you have to look at it. Because I had a couple of people that try to say, "Oh, it's insensitive." I said, "But no, are you really down there looking? Because some of you are speaking from an emotional standpoint, which I understand, but are you down there looking?" And then some people try to make things up about how would you say things being a sickness. I said, well, let me give you a scenario. If I go to a public bathroom and I have to use it real bad, and I sit on it. And when I sit on it, crabs jump up, I get lights on me, and I may get gonorrhea because of whatever's on the seat may have touched my orifices some type of way and gotten internal. Is that a sickness?
No,
Yes. Yeah, I
I
caught a
mean,
sickness. I caught an STD.
you caught something. Yeah, you did.
Right. I
Caught.
caught
Yeah.
something that's making me sick. You're hearing my point now.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
now if I look at a heroin addict or something like this, I have to say, man, I went out somewhere and I sat down on the toilet and a needle poked me. And when it poked me, I liked it. And now when it poked me, I had to go again. I'm sick. Now, is this the way it's happening, or is there a choice going down? And then the sickness comes afterwards. You see?
Yeah.
For our emotional stance, a lot of people don't look at that. Then the person's wanted to say, well, some people, they're getting gentrified. I said, I understand that, but are you down there to talk to people to see in reality, real time, is that really the factor? Because I may tell you that, and the real factor is I'm chasing what's on the street because I made a choice. Not that I'm sick from the gate and now I got to run around the street because the medical profession doesn't have the resolution or the medical sense to be able to help me as a human. And then that's when the lady got quiet because people don't think about it that way. Then how is it a sickness? It's only a sickness after the choice.
Right. I agree with you on that one.
It's scary. It's scary, everybody. And that's the whole thing with it all. So line, shape, form, light, and surface, basis of everything. You use it, you make decisions based upon it. You make scenes go based upon your past experiences. You'll make a choice not to make a left. You know what I mean? You'll make a right. You know what I mean? You'll look at a certain corner and say, no, last time I was there, this happened. Let me go 2 blocks over and then 1 block left, and then I'm good to go. I'm back home. And And that's all from experiences, pulling something from nothing, just to
Mhm.
round it off so I don't feel like I went too far left or jumped off the track for a little bit to be like the dirty turtle and make a shortcut. And I
You
beat you,
brought it
turtle.
home. You brought
Yeah,
it home. You brought it
Okay.
home.
Thanks, Nadine. That's our mission, though. That's our mission. Separately and together. That's our mission.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
And which um actually brought us to a thought that you had mentioned
Mhm.
earlier.
Okay.
Um, can you draw the side of you don't like?
Yeah, I use that one in the therapies a lot when I'm in situations
Mhm. And
because mhm.
yeah, so that's like kind of the same thing. Like I think we mentioned it in the last session about this notion that there's nothing beautiful in Kensington,
Right.
and that you when you go to the when you experience Kensington, um, oftentimes people are like, I don't really, from what I've heard, I don't really like going to Kensington because I don't really like seeing a lot of what is prevalent on certain areas, but it's not the only thing. Like there's life, there's people, there are things happening, there's community. And but if you're just looking for what you think is the negative, that's all you're going to see.
I mean, if you don't really investigate, you're just going by others' experiences, especially
Right.
by the news idea and what our
Mm-hmm.
local news and things like that does to report.
Yes.
So you're just going based upon that rather than taking a stroll. Like I'll tell anybody, you can walk in any, how would you say, bad area, as long as you're out of there by banker's hours, 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Before dark.
Yeah, if you no, it's not even before dark. It's just 5 o'clock before everything heats up, before people get back, before people start running around wanting to do what we call hustling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not an early thing sometimes. Right now, it's early because of the heron and the way heron moves. If you look at the business of heron, you can have somebody run up on you,
Mm-hmm.
or they're out early in the morning working or walking around 3, 4 in the morning before the sun is even up.
Oh my goodness. I've had somebody running down behind me while I was driving the news van,
Hmm.
running behind the van, chasing me. I
Three,
said,
four in the morning, right?
it was early. Yep. It
Yeah, those
was
are what
like
we call the
I was
witching
by
hours too.
myself too.
Yeah, that's what we call the witching hours too, right? Definitely it's 3 o'clock, but it's in between 2 and 6. They say that's the witching hours.
It's a different I mean to see the city at that time, it's very
Different.
different. It's very different. I don't different.
Listen,
It's
I'll put it
because
to
I
you this
have
way.
no words,
No,
you
I got
know.
words. I'll just say different because at different parts of the city, just like in any city environment, you have different parts of the city that's controlled by different influences.
Mhm.
And at certain times of the day, that is socially known, whether it's written or not, that that's those particular individuals' time of the day.
Yeah. Same thing, City Hall.
Oh,
Early
that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
morning
Any
at that
city
time.
hall, you notice everybody is not really down there until almost when they're about to close down. And now you see more and more people down there at 15
Yeah.
in Market, right at the
Mhm.
clothes pin,
Yeah.
where you can see some people not panhandling, but putting a table out and doing business,
Hmm.
and not nefarious business, everybody. We're talking about moving surplus items,
Hmm.
oils, things like this,
Yep.
smaller household items, hats, scarves, gloves, seasonal things.
Yeah. It's like a it becomes a different kind of marketplace.
Right. It's an open, what they would call an open air market.
Open air market. There you go.
Mhm. And they have another one for the arts. Like if everybody's not understanding, you come to Philadelphia, you come to City Hall, those little triangular shapes that they have down there, that's
Hmm.
an art and marketing thing, arts and
Hmm.
crafts thing, where they have artists from all over and especially from the city come out, and I believe they either rent the space there
Hmm.
or they're given a space for the day to rent for whatever the festivities is. And now you have the whole, because who doesn't go to City Hall when they come to Philadelphia?
Right. They do.
Who
Hmm.
doesn't go to Fifth and Independence when they come to Philadelphia?
Right. That's another
Who
one.
doesn't go to South Philly to go see Pat's and Gino's?
Yep. Italian market.
Right. These are the areas where you can get, you know, more, how would you say, observation if you're a painter, illustrator, photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Just known facts, you know what I mean? So yeah, you want to follow the money and then have something to put in the way, you know? And then there's the other thing too. You can pay for the certification or the badge that they have for you to be on the street to sell your items.
Yeah. As
I think
vendor.
that, yeah, I think that's like a $10 or $20 thing that you have to pay. That's pretty much statewide and citywide as far as Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, or any other city is concerned. You know, as long as you're selling your own product, your own goods, you can find out if that city has something that states that you really can't be out in their province unless you have this permission, you know what I mean, to stand out on the corner. Or another way around it is what I use is you talk to the proprietor or property handlers and get them to give you permission to be in front of their establishment, and then you bypass all of that now. The only one you don't bypass possibly is the taxes. But you can make a deal with the land provider or the property manager, and you know, you can work out pretty good. Sometimes I work it out where I don't have to pay anything to them. But the minute that I have to use their cash registers, then now we have to work out a fee because now they're collecting the taxes.
Right.
So they don't want to be hit with that alone. It has to have a reasoning on why that money is in their tally. So notice the words I'm using, everybody. They're basic, but these are basic words that you're going to run into based upon art in our society. You still have to go to commerce. You still have to go to the marketplace. And it'll still be retail or commodities, you know what I mean, at that point, depending upon how high or how low you are on the totem pole as far as creativity and marketing creative processes and things are concerned in the bubble that you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a lot of stuff, man, just to go with something from nothing. But I just like that. It's not that I'm trying to be thorough. I just want people to understand how it connects to your actual world.
Right.
But a lot of times when you look at some of these things, they don't talk about, they just talk about the doing. They may touch on a little bit of the history, but they never really, from what I've seen, talk about how it actually fits into your world on the everyday. And when I'm from school to now, that's been my main mission is to get people to really understand how art is really part of your everyday as a human being. Yeah, it's like you just can't get around it. You have to be part of the creation. If you're a liar, you're creating. You know what I mean? You know, if you're faking a fall, you're creating. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you get what I'm saying when I say those type of things, everybody. You're doing sleight of hand acts, you're creating. You know?
You're creating an emotion, a moment,
an
expression, you know, maybe what you did evokes laughter, which creates a mood. Yeah.
Depends upon which way you go during the experience when that sleight of hand is going down.
Yep.
If you're the one that put down $100 bill and say, I'm gonna get it this time, man. I know what this guy is doing. And all of a sudden you don't get it and you lost that 100, and you're gonna think that's the worst thing ever.
And
right?
you created a moment you want to forget.
There you go. You see?
Yep.
Now, if you're just looking and saying, dang, I saw where he put that at, but I'm not putting my money down. I'm gonna keep it safe and just watch this like I'm watching TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you good now. Now it's entertaining. Wow, I saw a guy get robbed for like $300 from that sleight of hand trick.
Yep. Where is it? Left or right? Left or right? Left or right? Left or right?
Yeah.
If you
Get
can't find it, it's mine.
Right. I seen both sides of that equation. I saw a person that didn't get it and got angry. And then I saw a person that made the guy that was doing it get angry because this guy knew what he was doing and he knew how to decipher his movements. Woo! That's the worst one when you have it that way. Because the guy you lumped it to give the money up, he may kick the table over and just walk away.
Right.
And depending upon how the guy is playing, how he is, meaning his mentality,
Mhm.
It's either the guy's going to walk away and get away with that, he's going to laugh because the money
Right.
doesn't mean anything to him, or that person is just as hungry as the person that's doing it.
Yep.
And now you got a real situation, you know?
And it's like, listen, I'm trying to make some money here.
You know, I just give you $100. That's a third of my rent, my man. I'm trying to come up. You owe me that.
Right. Yep.
Trying to get an extra pair of socks for my kids, homie. No, I saw what you was doing. Give me my 100, man, and give me the 100 that's on top of it.
Right. It is.
Argument, man. So yeah, it's just interesting, everybody, how line, shape, form, light, and surface is in your world, and how I like to, how would you say, get you all to see the inner artist in you and how it fuses your world and your culture that you're in.
For sure. For sure. Yep.
Plus,
You
I've
took
been
it.
practicing how to round it off, Nadine. I've been practicing lines at night on how I can round off things, you know what I
That was
mean?
that was a good round off. That was definitely a good round up. The other one was uh something from nothing, how it fits into your everyday.
Yeah, because you do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Some people wake up knowing that they short on their bills. Man, I'm short $300 a day,
You know
man.
it. And that's the first thing on your mind. And
Yeah,
you're
as soon
like,
as you wake
how am
up,
I
like,
gonna get it?
oh man, today's the 21st. Damn it. Yeah,
Yep.
how am I going to do this? And then you go out and start creating, having
Right.
moments, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
that $300, no matter how it came down, you either got it postponed, you actually found it, somebody dropped it, you found it. Thank God. God is
Yep.
looking out
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
You know what
Thank
I
you,
mean?
Jesus. Yep.
You know, but however it happens, it's worked out creatively, some type of
Yep.
way. You figure
Yep.
it out on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say, everybody, keep on having creative moments, keep
Yes.
creating.
Keep creating, everybody. That's
You
what
know?
it's all about. We're gonna keep pounding that. Keep pounding it. It's so
Mhm.
important to keep creating. That's why we're here. That's why we created this space. Um, and
Yeah,
we're bringing it to you.
come on,
And
that's why
we
I got the t-shirt on. Bang.
Yeah,
Creating,
keep
baby.
creating 24/7,
Yeah.
365. It's
Sorry for the
let's
sweat,
paint
everybody.
and draw along. That's
Yeah, 10 toes down, everybody.
it.
24/7,
There you
365.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
So we thank
Sweating
you.
for it and everything, everybody. I think I lost 5 pounds this morning.
All right, there you go. Because it's hot, y'all. It's hot, y'all. Y'all try to stay cool. We appreciate you joining us. Do me a favor, like this video because that really helps us. Got the Yeti. He's got the Yeti, you know. And we appreciate you joining us. Put a link in there to sign up for the newsletter. We're just trying to find ways to be able to reach out to you and let you know what's going on, especially if there are going to be changes happening. We appreciate you. We hope to see you later on this week. We'll post the throwback Wednesday for
Mm-hmm.
those so they're reminded we did have a session and with stuff going on, but also so that you can follow along and maybe add a little chat and we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you. Don wants to thank you. Yep, yep. And we just want you to keep creating, everybody.
Keep creating.
Keep
Yeah.
creating. Thank you so much for joining
7,
us.
365. Y'all
Fun.
know the deal.
You know the deal. Keep creating. Thank you for joining us. See you again real soon.
Peace. 2 fingers.
2-finger piece. Now, why is my mouse not working? Oh, there you go. All right. Modern technology.
Yep.
Take